What's up, everybody? So assuming you're running your own business as a therapist, it's really easy to forget to plan for retirement. But assuming you'd like to retire someday, it's super important to do this. So in this video, I'm going to go over the benefits of investing in a retirement plan, name some of the most common retirement plans that work well for those in private practice, and I also show you some ways that you can start planning for your retirement today. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. So once upon a time, I used to believe that the only way to plan for retirement if you worked in private practice was to just slowly stow money away into a regular savings account. But as it turns out, there are some great retirement plans designed specifically for those of us running our own businesses, and in many cases, they're much better than the traditional plans that most employers tend to offer. But if you're like me, then retirement might be the last thing on your mind when you're first starting out in private practice. And who can blame us? Because at first, based on our hourly rate, it seems like we might be rolling in the dough, but once you account for overhead expenses and taxes, it might feel like there's not a whole lot left over in the end to stow away some for retirement. But trust me, future you will thank you for investing in your retirement now. There is no such thing as too early to start. In fact, the earlier, the better. And if you're afraid that it's too late, it's still way better to stow away money slowly now than not stow anything away at all. Before we dive into the types of retirement plans available to us in private practice, let's go over some of the benefits of investing in a retirement plan. The first and most obvious benefit is you're going to need some money once you retire. The average retirement can last upwards of 30 years or longer, and the average person needs 70% or more of their annual income in order to sustain their same lifestyle once they retire. These days, Social Security is dishing out an average of $1,200 a month for those who are retired, and I don't know about where you live, but where I live, that's not even enough to cover housing. So it's important that you invest in some other avenues in order to retire comfortably. Benefit number 2, contributions to your retirement plan are tax deductible, and all asset growth is tax deferred. The money that you put into a retirement plan today, you can deduct from the income that you pay taxes on right now. And you don't have to pay taxes on that money plus whatever growth it has until you finally withdraw it someday. In theory, once you withdraw it, you're likely to be in a lower tax bracket, and therefore you're going to pay less in taxes on that same amount of money. Benefit number 3, compounding interest means that small contributions over time can grow to become significant savings. So as an example, let's say I currently have $0 in my 401k today, and in 2020, I start contributing $10,000 per year to my 401k. You can see here that the blue represents money I contributed to the 401k, and the yellow represents interest earned in my account. So assuming I were to retire at 66, at that point, almost half of my 401k reflects interest earned on the money I contributed over time. Now, let's say you invested that same money into a regular savings account. You technically end up with less money than when you started because savings accounts offer a rate of interest that's lower than the rate of inflation. Benefit number 4, since you work for yourself, you can contribute into a retirement plan as both the employer and the employee. And this means that the contribution limits are much higher than they are for a typical retirement plan. Now, especially if you share your finances with a partner, the two of you might opt to invest more heavily in your retirement plan and then lean more heavily on your partner's paycheck for your monthly expenses. That way, both of you can maximize the benefit of the amazing retirement plan you have access to. And here's a bonus advantage. For low to moderate income earners who invest in a retirement plan, you qualify for the Savers Credit. I don't have time to dive into this here, but it basically means that if you're not earning a high income and you contribute to a retirement plan, you qualify for a special tax break. I'll link to information on that below if you're interested. Now, all of this sounds great, but if you're like me, you might feel overwhelmed by the array of retirement plans available out there. How do you select which one is the right one? Well, the good news is all the benefits I just named apply to all of the retirement plans that I'm going to go over. It's just a matter of finding the one that's the best fit for you. Whether you operate your business as a sole proprietor or an LLC, there are 3 main retirement plans that work best for most of us in private practice: the solo 401k, the SEP IRA, and the simple IRA. There are definitely pros and cons to each of these, but I will venture to say that the solo 401k is likely to be the best fit for the majority of us working in private practice. The exception to that is if you hire any employees, other than your spouse, then you can't contribute to a solo 401k. Now, this is the point in the video where I suggest you check in with your accountant to decide which plan is best for you, since I'm simply sharing my opinion. In the meantime, I want to show you an easy way that you can get started today to start planning for retirement. Now, I'm going to rattle through a bunch of different websites, so just know in advance that I do link to all of the websites I mention in the description box. First, head to NerdWallet's investment calculator. There you can enter a bit of information about yourself, including your age, current income, current savings, and other information. Here you can play around with what age you'd like to retire, and this calculator will show you how much of your monthly income to put towards retirement. Now, the default investment rate on this website is 6%, but I do encourage you to be conservative and plan for a 4% return on investment just in case. So let's say after you do a little bit of calculating on this website, you decide that you'd like to start by contributing $1,000 a month to a retirement plan, and over time gradually building up to contributing $2,000 a month. Keep that number in mind as you head over to Bankrate's 401k calculator. Type in your information and it will let you know how much the maximum is you can contribute for each common type of retirement plan annually. Now, at the time of this recording, this website is a bit out of date with 2017 information, and these limits are higher in 2020, but it will give you a general idea. So as you can see, if my goal was to eventually save $2,000 per month to contribute to retirement, that comes out to $24,000 per year. And based on the income in this example, I would only have the option of investing in a solo 401k, as the contribution limits are much lower with the other options. Now, based on all of the information you just gathered, you're likely able to narrow down which retirement plan might work best for you. I personally invest in a solo 401k, and since my husband and I are able to live entirely off of his paycheck, we shovel away as much money as possible from my income as we can into that solo 401k. That way, the both of us will get to reap those benefits once we retire. This comes out to more money for us in the end than if I cut myself a larger paycheck every month and we both invested a little bit in each of our retirement plans separately. Well, I hope you feel encouraged to look into investing in retirement plans if you haven't yet. And even if you only contribute $50 a month, it's still totally worth it. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. Today's video is brought to you by TherapyNotes.com. TherapyNotes helps with scheduling, notes, and billing so that you can spend more time with your clients and less time on back office paperwork. Click the link in the description of this video to get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment. Much lower than the rate of inflation. You can contribute as both the employer and the employer. Something.